this is the AGT that we bought, the AwT 23. I'm just gonna talk about why we bought it, what we like about it, some of the things that I don't like about it so much, and some of the issues that we've had to deal with already. Well, let's start with, this was the hydraulic fluid that was in it. As you can see, it's not very thick. So we had to replace all the hydraulic fluid, and we also replaced the oil. And let's talk about the oil. So a lot of people say that they like this model more online than the other model because it has a drain plug. On the outside, you want to do that bolt right here, and the oil comes out. Well, the issue with that is there's the oil, the engine drain plug, there's this hump, and it goes back down this. So you basically have to lift up the machine to get the oil to come out. And then this is kind of nice. This platform has a spring. We really like that. But it's just tiny things like, that's nice. We actually use that. The choke right here, there is that spring right there, gets hung up. So we have to manually move that back. Not a big deal, just something you have to know. This locking gas cap is kind of annoying to use, so I don't use that anymore. The tube for the fuel, is it pitched high enough? Or something, I'm not sure what, but when you put gas in it at a fuel pump, it flows too fast and it clicks it, and then your fuel dumps out all over the place. This is your dipstick. Tell me how often you're gonna check that. That's incredibly annoying. Your oil filter is down here. Right there. That's kind of a pain. It's not the same oil filter as the Honda, which everyone says it is. So trying to find a filter isn't as fun as they make it sound. The hatch broke on the first day. We had a bungee on it, but that was probably Chinese too and broke. But we go like that, and then I use the lid to hold it up. Yeah, there's the oil filter. It's actually pretty easy to get to. The biggest issue that we've had is this fuel pump. So the original fuel pump was back here, and it was like gas fed. Oh no, it was like the exhaust from the engine, from the carburetor, would pull and spin this thing. Do we have that spinning thing that the fuel pump, the original fuel pump? Where did we put that? This is Nick. Nick, are you okay being on YouTube?
Me?
Yeah, he doesn't care. Or maybe he does. Put that bolted here, and then this line went to the engine, and basically the carburetor would spin. Oh, the carburetor had suction, would spin this little thing that bolted here, and then this line went to that, and then that line went to the top, and that's how it got its fuel. It sucked. The thing would die all the time. So we got this Ed Brock one. There's some cheap ones on Facebook. Amazon. This one was like $65. We bought it at O'Reilly's, but the ones on Amazon were like $25. I just didn't want to wait. But yeah, after we fixed that, that was a massive increase. It's electric, so the ground, the positive, has a fuse, and then it goes up there, ties in to that wire right there. If someone's trying to do that, that's definitely the first thing I would do is fuel pump, drop your oil, and then drop your hydraulic fluid. The thing is a whole new machine after we did that. It doesn't die, has more power, the hydraulics run better, the machine's actually faster too. Another big complaint is there's not enough weight in the back. And we haven't dealt with that yet, but once we get the more weight in the back, then the machine has more hydraulics and power with the bucket than weight. So you'll pick up the bucket and then it feels tipsy. And then this line right here started leaking, so we gotta pull this line off and go get it made. So that's kind of gonna be the project today. And then the battery was total junk right there, so it only has a new battery. We've had this for, I don't know, a week or two now. We have 16.5 hours on it. It's just Chinese. You could fill it like the same gauges. Fuel gauge, hydraulic oil gauge. I don't know. Things that we like about it was the price. We paid $6,800 for it in Portland because here locally they're quite a bit more money. I really like the lights. No one really talks about the lights, but the lights, really like the lights that are not working right now. Okay, well, and the lights work though nice, so I gotta figure out why they quit working. I like, no one really talks about that, but I like this model more. I looked up all the models. So this one has an engine with a shaft with that actual belt that runs this PTO, or this hydraulic pump. I really like that because I feel like if we ever have to change it, oh, here's the bracket right here. So this was the bracket that ran it. So that line went here, and it basically just used suction from the carburetor to spin this. That would pull your fuel. It was awful. The thing died all the time. Like, we're talking every 5 minutes the thing would die. Back to this. Thank you, Nick. Back to this. So that is just a pulley that runs that belt that runs this hydraulic pump. So I feel like if I ever have issues, I can just take this hydraulic pump and make a new bracket for it and put a different pulley on it. Have it machined or something if I have to. That's why I like this one. The other ones, this hydraulic pump bolts straight to this right here. So if you have to replace a hydraulic pump, it would be a lot more difficult, I feel. And then the other thing that not many people talk about, this is a 2-stage hydraulic pump. 1, 2. If it was a 3-stage, there would be another line right here. So you can only run 2 hydraulic functions at a time. So this would be track 1, track 2. So if you try to run any of your other hydraulics, lift or tilt your bucket, the pump is stilling from your track. So basically, you start to, if you're driving forward and you want to get your bucket ready for the next, dirt run, it's going to kill the power to one of your tracks and you start driving left or right. So, like, we don't really care. But if we had a snowblower on it, or a trencher or something like that, what would happen is you start to blow, you turn on the hydraulics, you lose a track. So you'd be blowing your snow in one direction. You'd be sitting there making donuts. So don't buy one of these if that's what you want to do with it. But we like it. I would buy it again even though it's giving us issues. Oh, the other issue was the track. This track right here pops off. So you undo this plate and there's a zook right there. That zook basically wasn't tight enough, and then the grease came out the back, loosened the track, and the track fell off. So definitely you want to go through and tighten your nuts and bolts on these things. But in the last video, you guys seen that we were digging out our basement, and I figured that we have 200 to 300 hours that we have to put on one of these things, which is about 2 months rent with the dingo. And renting a dingo is like $3,300 a month. So what we paid to rent a dingo, we bought this thing, and then at the end I can turn around and sell it if I want to. We can keep it. And honestly, there's so many projects we inherited such a massive amount of crap and garbage that I think we'll probably just keep it. It's useful.